What's up, everybody? This is a little show I like to call Metal Life. A little bit about it. It's just going to be me reviewing bands and their albums that I enjoy. A little about me. My name's Jake. I'm from Ohio. Yippee Skippy. From the Dayton area. And I've been a metalhead for a long time. I really enjoy the music. One of the reasons I enjoy it so much is because it's it's a music that's just not afraid of anything. You know, they talk about everything and anything and anyone, and if you're offended, I really don't think they care. And it's not about not caring about it. It's just, you know, it's about them just the band's doing what they want to do. You know what I mean? I myself have a CD collection of over 1,200 CDs, as you can see back there. But ironically, those are the only ones I have jewel cases for. I have like little DJ cases that I keep everything else in, or I keep it all in actually, but those are just the jewel cases there on display. Plus it makes a nice little cool background for a music review show, you know what I mean? For this first episode, well, it's going to be a two-part episode. I'm doing Judas Priest. The thing is the reason it's going to be two parts is because one, they've had a really long career, and they have 16 studio full-length albums, and I do own all of them. And I would like to look at each individual album and tell you what I think of it, and you know, maybe talk about a couple tracks on each one or whatever, not having to rush, you know. So hopefully you'll like it. Also, I do want to say that this is not any kind of formal review, and it's strictly my opinion on, and the information in here is information I've gathered over the years. I guess let's just get started. Judas Priest was a band that formed in 1969. They formed in Birmingham, England, in the UK, for you of those that are not familiar with the globe. The current lineup for the band is Rob Halford, Glenn Tipton, K.K. Downing, Ian Hill, and Scott Travis. They've had that lineup pretty much since 1989. There was some time period in there when Rob Halford was in the group, but we'll get into that in the second video. Scott Travis joined the band in 1989 as the drummer. Prior to him, they had 8 other drummers. That kind of went through them, I guess. They've had one other bass player other than Ian Hill. From everything I've found, Glenn Tipton and K.K. Downing are the original guitar players. I'm pretty sure they're just straight up the founders of the group. They had one singer prior to Rob Halford, by a guy named by the name of Al Atkins. Unfortunately, I really don't know much about him, other than he was the original singer when they first formed, and he has a band, or had a band, under his self-titled name, Al Atkins. So, but like I said, they formed in 1969. They put out their first album in 1974. Now, their first 2 albums were a little different. They had more of a Black Sabbath-y sound to them. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it really did. It had a kind of a stoner rock sound to it that Black Sabbath had, you know. Their first album, Rock-A-Rolla, like I said, came out in 1974. Pretty good album. Like I said, way different. If the only thing you like from Priest is like the late 70s to mid 80s sound, you probably won't like these, but for anybody who's open, check them out. Pretty good stuff. Like I said, way different though. Rock-A-Rolla got some really good tracks on here, like Dying to Meet You, Caviar and Meths, and Diamonds and Rust. So check it out. Second album, Sad Wings of Destiny. Really good album. The most famous song on here is probably The Ripper, which is a song about Jack the Ripper. I know it's the oldest song that I heard at the time when I first started getting into Judas Priest. Got some other good ones on here like Tyrant, Genocide, Deceiver. So like I said, still along the same lines of that kind of Sabbathy sound that they had at the time. Really good stuff though. I believe this album came out in 1976. So next, third album, and this is when we start seeing them getting into that more power metal sound that they have, called Sin After Sin. Good album. Got some good songs on here like Sinner, Starbreaker, Dissident Aggressor is a good one. They did another version of Diamonds and Rust on here. This one's the remastered version. Has 2 bonus tracks, Race with the Devil, and then Jawbreaker Live. So check it out, and you can kind of hear where the roots of their sound that made them famous came from, you know. After that, we get into an album called Stained Class. Really good stuff. One of the really famous songs is on here, Exciter. Great song. The rest of the album's pretty darn good. Got songs like Better By You, Better Than Me, Beyond the Realms of Death. Good stuff. This one remastered comes with 2 bonus tracks, Fire Burns Below and Better By You, Better Than Me Live. So now, on their 5th album, the original name of this album was Killing Machine. I never officially found out the whole story of why they had to change the name, but to release it internationally, particularly I believe America, they had to change the name. So they changed the name to Hellbent for Leather. That's what we all know it by. The band still considers the name of the album Killing Machine, but then again, you know, why wouldn't they? I mean, they wrote it, they recorded it. I think, frankly, my personal opinion, I think it's kind of bullshit that they had to change the name anyway, but that's neither here nor there. On this album, we get the tracks Hellbent for Leather, obviously. Delivering the Goods is another really good one. Also, Hellbent for Leather version of Killing Machine has the track The Green Manalishi and the 2-Prong Crown. Good song. If you want that in the studio, you have to get this version. This one's got 2 bonus tracks, Fight for Your Life and Riding on the Wind Live. 6th album, probably their most famous one to date. One of the most influential albums of metal is British Steel. They recently, within the last year or so, re-released it for the 30th anniversary. Just to show you how long this group's really been around. Like I said, great album. I know, for example, when I was talking about influential, Horg, the drummer for Immortal and Hypocrisy, at one point in an interview, he said it was his favorite album of all time. So, and frankly, if Horg approves, great stuff. Of course, this comes with great songs like Rapid Fire, Metal Gods, Breaking the Law, and Living After Midnight. Those 2, of course, being the 2 big radio hits they had off the album. Bonus tracks on the remastered edition, Red, White, and Blue, and Grinder Live. So if you don't own British Steel, I don't think you're a real Judas Priest fan. Now after that, we get into an album called Point of Entry. Honestly, this is one of my lesser favorites of the band. Still pretty decent though. Honestly, I haven't heard a bad song by them, but you know, this one just wasn't, you know, it just didn't get me the right way, I guess. Got some good songs on here though, like Heading Out to the Highway, Troubleshooter, Desert Plains. This is the remastered edition, and it does come with 2 bonus tracks, Thunder Road and Desert Plains Live. So check it out. Maybe you'll like it more than I did. Now we get into another one of their more famous albums, Screaming for Vengeance. Great album. This happens to be an original print from 1982. Comes with songs on here like Electric Eye, Pain and Pleasures, Take These Chains, Screaming for Vengeance, of course, and then You've Got Another Thing Coming being the big radio hit off this album. So, great album, great songs, yeah. After Screaming for Vengeance, they did an album called Defenders of the Faith. Ironically, this ended up being the first Judas Priest album I owned. No particular reason, just happened to be the first one I bought. Pretty good stuff. I don't think it's as good as Screaming for Vengeance, but not bad. Got some good songs on here like Free Will Burning, Jawbreaker. My favorite song on here is Some Heads Are Gonna Roll. This is the remastered edition. Comes with 2 bonus tracks, Turn On Your Light and Heavy Duty / Defenders of the Faith Live. So now after Defenders of the Faith, they got another big one called Turbo. Turbo, good album, a little bit of a different direction. Defenders of the Faith, you kind of saw that. This one, you kind of confirmed it. A little bit softer, I think. They did the song Turbo Lover off this album. Another good one, Parental Guidance. Wild Nights, Hot and Crazy Days is another really good song off here. Also, I think it's kind of funny if you haven't seen the video for Turbo Lover, check it out. It's pretty interesting. See a lot of dancing by Rob Halford, some robots for whatever reason, and well, it's like I said, it's actually kind of a little cheesy, but given the time period it came out, it really wasn't that cheesy at the time, you know. So, like I said before, this is going to be a two-part video, so hopefully you're interested enough into watching the second part. And if any of the information in this video you found was incorrect, or if my information is incorrect, or if you have a request of a band that you'd like to hear my thoughts on, or an album you'd like to hear my thoughts on, go ahead and email me at jake85-Metal@hotmail.com, and hopefully you'll watch the second half, and I guess I'll see you guys in a minute.